sounds, and you're like,
and then when I'm alone in the bathroom,
yeah, you're like, I'm so smart. That was so good.
Yeah, like that shit rock.
Good job, Jake. Good job.
God, you guys are like the opposite of me. I'm over here fucking.
We got a little bit of ego in us.
Horrible I am. I'm like, God, I sound like shit. God, why did I say that? Oh my God, did I scratch my nose? Like, what the fuck? Stupid.
So Matt, just remember, like when you're talking, like even if you're talking this way, like move your head. It's like this, you know what I mean? Like you gotta get right here, brother.
Easy.
And we'll
like
just,
this?
Yeah, and we'll just pass this back and forth.
Yeah, I gotta like, this is, I think, the biggest struggle, because when I'm talking to him,
yeah,
that's when I do that.
Yeah, that's when you do that. And it's like in the middle of a conversation.
Yep.
You remember
do lapel mics work at all for something like this or not really?
They're just
they do?
Good.
Yeah.
They do?
They work. It's just
They're not that good.
Kristen was telling me about some software she uses or some technology she uses where she can take that mic and make it sound like this quality.
Not
like
really.
it's some kind of $100 add-on or some shit.
Fuck out of here.
It's so plain and simple. Just use good shit.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
I hate people so much. We're going, by the way.
Oh,
I
we're
drive
live?
a Lincoln. No, it's a Ford.
All
No
right.
offense if anybody drives a Lincoln around
You
here.
go
so.
ahead and start it this
All right. All right, everybody. Welcome to the Young Entrepreneurs Podcast, where we're talking business and everything else in between. We can talk cats if you want, YouTube
Meow.
videos, whatever the heck we want. We got Dan Lipka here. Dan is a great guy. We met a couple months ago through Facebook, right?
We did, yes.
I think so.
I
And
love the wonderful power of Facebook.
what do you do, Dan? What's going on?
So I do a number of things. I'm an entrepreneur at heart, so I have been since I was about 21 years old. I've got my hand in a few businesses, but primarily I'm in the fire restoration industry. I have a flooring and epoxy flooring business that we just kicked off a little over a year ago. But lately, most of my focus has been in the deregulation of energy.
Okay. So let's dive a little deeper into that.
All right.
What the heck does that mean?
So to sum this up really fast, retail energy is basically gives consumers, as you know, you business owners, residents, anybody who pays an electric bill has the option to choose who their energy supplier is. Okay, so they do not need to stay with the incumbents, these big monopoly companies like ComEd. They can go to a smaller retail provider, and it gives companies like us and individuals like us who are business owners in that industry an opportunity to earn income by other people paying their electric bills. And in turn, we're also allowed to pass savings on to them that you wouldn't necessarily get with ComEd or some of these other larger companies.
Because they have a monopoly. You were saying that 15 years ago, they had a monopoly and the government was like, whoa, we need to back up here.
Yeah, correct. Basically, the company or the government, the Public Utilities Commission stepped in and said, yo, you're a monopoly. No, that's illegal. That cannot happen. You have to allow some of these smaller companies an opportunity to come in and not necessarily undercut their business, because so here in Naperville and in Illinois, ComEd is obviously our incumbent. It's our main energy provider for electricity here in Illinois. ComEd still maintains the power lines, the poles, the transformers, the equipment. They buy their energy on the open market, just like we do, just like our competitors do, and then they turn around and sell it to you, the consumer. We do the exact same thing, but because they're a monopoly, they need to disclose what their rates are. It gives us an opportunity to come in and sell it to you at a discount for a little bit of a rate, a little bit of discounted rate, so you can save some money.
So you sell this to regular homeowners.
Correct.
The homeowners can buy this, get a little bit cheaper energy and it's the exact same. Correct.
Exactly the same. Anybody who pays a ComEd bill, essentially, apartments, houses, townhomes, nail salons, restaurants, offices like this, anybody that pays a ComEd bill has the opportunity and the right to choose who their supplier of their energy comes from.
So it's not just residential; it's anybody who pays for their energy.
Correct. Any facility that gets a ComEd bill in Illinois. I mean, we're nationwide, but I'm talking about just Illinois, obviously, because that's where we are right now. But in Illinois, anybody who pays a ComEd bill has the right to choose who their supplier is for their energy costs.
Now, as a rep, or what would you call yourself?
I'm an independent associate.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You can work with anybody in the country, or are you exclusive to your area, to your region?
Yeah, no. So I guess to deep dive a little further, as an independent associate, we are allowed to work in any of the states that are deregulated that we're licensed in. Now, us as a company, we're not licensed in the entire country in all of the states that are deregulated, but we're in 10 right now. My main focus, obviously, I live here, is to build locally and obviously expand nationally at that point.
You said that only so certain amount of states are deregulated, there's still states that are not deregulated where they have the monopoly?
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm not sure the legislation side of it, but it was broken down per state. For instance, we're in Texas. That's where our company was actually founded and started from. But in Texas, we're only deregulated for electricity, not for natural gas.
Interesting.
Now on the flip side, we're in Georgia as well. But Georgia is the opposite. We're only deregulated for natural gas, not for electricity. So it depends on where you are. Illinois, fortunately, we're deregulated in both. Us as a company, we're only promoting electricity at the moment. So it depends on where you are, what market you're in, what different legislation is in place for each different state.
Okay. And do you see all states becoming deregulated soon, or is it like pushback?
Yeah, I mean, as you're aware and everybody else and all the listeners are aware, each state is different.
Yeah.
Some politicians lean one way, some swing the other way. It just kind of depends. Personally, I do not see every state becoming deregulated. I do see every state being deregulated at some point in the future on one level or another.
So would you say this is like a political battle, essentially?
Oh, it's constantly a political
Because
battle.
I mean, ComEd is I'm sure associated with politics, so I'm sure they have.
Oh yeah, they got their money in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to get their money in. They're going to get their money out somehow. You look at all the big oil tycoons, the gas tycoons. It's the same reason why we don't have everybody driving an electrical vehicle right now. Yep. Big business isn't going to let it happen. As much as we'd want it to happen, as much as we all want to care about the environment and care about emissions, it's just not going to happen. They're never going to allow it.
It'll happen. I just think it's going to take.
It's a lot slower.
So long to get to that point, but. Cool. That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
So you mentioned some other businesses. You want to talk a little bit about those? I mean,
yeah, sure. I'd love to. So, I've been in the fire and flood restoration industry for a long time. Another very lucrative business to be in. It's a whole lot of fun. It sucks dealing with people, obviously, when they just had a fire and they lost all their belongings. But, from my point of view, it's a lot of fun being able to meet different people who have just gone through, what could be one of the most traumatic and worst experiences of their life, and being able to help them through that and coach them through that and walk them through that process. And at the end of the day, they end up with their house back or their apartment back or whatever their building was that was damaged back in a better condition than it was before. And we're the saviors in that. So I really, really love the industry.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's exactly what I was going to say, is like you feel like a savior almost. It's like you're a superhero of restoration.
Exactly. Yeah, I fly down on my cape and say, I got you. I can help you all. So,
sweet.
And that's your own business as well?
No, so I have a hand in the emergency services side of it, not in the actual construction. We are a full service construction company as well, but my business is in the emergency services side of things.
Oh, wow.
So I can probably have some questions about that, right?
Oh, yeah.
So imagine you have a house fire at your house. Fire department comes in. They got to let the smoke out. They smash out your windows, cut a hole in your roof, whatever the case is. Somebody has to come in there and put boards up on those windows, tarp your roof, protect your home from the elements outside, like the rain, the snow, and everything else. That's where we come in.
Okay.
So you're like a second responder, like after they come in.
100%. Yep.
You come in. Okay, got it.
Yeah, we're a second responder to the fire department and the police department. We come in and we secure the property, assist with any sort of emergency services that are needed at that time post fire.
Now, the first responders aren't the ones that reach out to you. It's the homeowner that reaches out
No,
to
it's
you?
actually the first responders in most cases. Yeah,
Nice.
Again, that's broken down by municipality. Each town is different. Some of it's regulated on a county level. It just kind of depends on what area you're in and what fire protection district or what fire department has in place for that particular area.
Awesome. That's
So okay, so now moving on to the epoxy. The epoxy one is actually, you're the owner of that
The
business.
epoxy business, yeah. So we started that. Long story short, buddy of mine was in the business for years and years and years, wanted to get out doing his own thing. Came to me knowing that I'm an entrepreneur. I was like, sure, I got no problem starting another business. 3 kids, 4th one on the way. But hey,
Congrats.
thank you. We'll put our hand in something else. And it's been going really well. We started last year, strictly doing residential. Most of our business was in garage floors only, and now we've expanded into laundry rooms, 3-season rooms. We're doing an 8,000 square foot warehouse in the next couple of weeks. We're moving into bigger commercial projects and things of that nature.
So can you dive into how this, when you started, the problems, obviously probably trying to find leads, build a reputation and all that kind of stuff. Can you kind of dive in so the listeners can understand a different perspective on building another business?
Yeah. So, and I get this question asked to me all the time, because even in the energy industry, I've promoted through the ranks to a very high position faster than anybody in our 14-year history with over 600,000 associates. And to me, it all comes down to how bad you want to be successful. And that can be in any business. It could be epoxy, it could be energy, it could be real estate.
It's all the same.
Oh, it's all the same.
All the same.
Exactly. Everybody has the dreams, has the wishes, wants the nice car, wants the big house, wants the money in the bank. But at the end of the day, you got to ask, how bad do you actually want it? Are you going to get out there and bust your ass and hustle and do what it takes every single day, all day to make it happen? And unfortunately, the answer for most people is no.
Yeah.
They say they will, but when it comes time to do it, they actually don't. They're too busy watching a lame-ass football game like last night. Sorry. Versus, like me, I'm home, I'm working. I'm sending out emails. I'm sending out messages through social media. I'm on the phone. I'm doing what I need to do to reach the level of success that I have in my mind that I want to go to.
Do you think that you're more of a marketer, or do you feel like you're an operations guy?
Ooh, I like that question. Yeah. I'm a connector.
Okay.
Actually, I'm going to mix them all together.
Okay.
I think you have to be
a hybrid. Everybody has to be.
Yeah, and hybrid is the perfect word. I think you have to be a hybrid of everything. But I think, in my opinion, and again, I can only speak for my opinion, is it doesn't matter what business you're in. Like I said, you're in the real estate industry, but you're not in the real estate industry. You're in the people business.
Exactly.
It all comes back to people, and does not matter what industry that's in. Everybody's in the people business. If you can relate to people and connect one person to another to benefit those two people, you're going to become successful at no matter what it is that you're doing.
That's all we talk about in the Young Entrepreneurs. Like, stop selling. And you're amazing at it, by the way. Like, you're never selling, but everybody knows exactly what you do. You know what I mean? Like, that's really, really good. There's a quality to that. But like you're saying, like just hustling and keep doing it and keep trying and keep going. Like, that's...
and that's where people fall short. I meet people all day long that are like, yeah, I'm going to go out there, I'm going to crush it next year. They've got a goal to make $150,000, right? I'm going to go out there, I'm going to crush it, I'm going to make 150 grand a year. And, two things happen. One, either they're in an industry or they're with an opportunity that they just can't. If you have a job and the highest person at your job makes $65,000 a year, it's sad to say, but unfortunately, you're not going to make $100,000 a year working for that company. It's just not going to happen. So either that, or they don't want to put in the time and the effort that it takes. You know what I mean? I mean, any business takes work, and
it takes time. Everybody
Exactly.
wants it in a year. They're like, I'm going to be the biggest real estate agent in a year. And it's like, dude, no, you're not. Like, you're not. It just, because you need the time, like I was saying earlier, like, you need to build up a reputation in people, because everybody knows Ambit Energy or whatever these like other ones are. Like, I already know 8 of them. Do you know what I mean? Like, I already know 8 real estate agents. I already know print guys. Like, I already know them. You got to build your relationship and get in there with people. It's a people business.
You know what? And to piggyback off that, coming to the the social media era that we're in, that I think everybody's in, because social media has become so powerful, but it's a double-edged sword, because there's so many people on social media that have either just gotten lucky, luck by a mass amount of income coming in, or luck by just meeting the right person at the right time.
Yeah.
And everybody construes luck versus hard work. And there's a big difference between being lucky and just falling into something versus going out there every day, grinding it out, busting your ass to accomplish what you need to happen. And for most people, luck is in the ladder. It's just not going to happen. It's like winning the lottery. You got a better chance of getting struck by lightning than you do for winning the lottery. So my advice, get up, get out there, bust your ass, and get the work done.
I got a different perspective on it. My wife said, we were talking about somebody like Mark Cuban or something like that. And she's like, well, he just kind of got lucky. And then I thought about it and I was like, well, didn't he just like roll the dice enough times to get lucky, quote unquote? Do you know what I mean? Like, if you're hustling every day, like, you get lucky by finding that right person at the right time, but you were doing it 80 times a day, and all of a sudden you hit it after 3 years of doing it and you got quote unquote lucky.
And here's the thing, you can go back to that as far as rolling the dice, quote unquote. He rolled the dice 85,000 times.
Exactly.
He went up there to the table, rolled the dice 3 times, and boom, you get lucky.
Yeah.
Look at the game of craps. You're not going to strike out on $100,000 winning the first time you go out there and roll. You got to roll out, build your pot, and then take a chance.
Yep.
You got to take chances in
So
life.
luck is created for some people. Some people do get lucky. Like, it does happen where some people do get lucky.
Yeah, 1 in 1.5 million that win the
Exactly.
lottery.
Like the 0.001% of people. But on average, the most successful people, they just rolled the dice enough times to get quote unquote lucky.
100%. And they surround themselves with other successful people. That's another key thing, in my opinion. If you're hanging around a bunch of deadbeat, broke losers, and all they do is complain about how miserable they are, how much they hate their job, how much their life sucks, how broke they are, guess what's going to keep happening? That's going to rub off on you. You look at spoiled fruit, right? You got a bowl of fruit in your kitchen. You take a perfectly ripe apple and you stick that in a bowl that's got rotten fruit in there. What's going to happen?
It rots.
Exactly. That perfectly good ripe apple is going to rot. That shit's contagious, man. You got to get away from those people, cut them out of your life, family, friends, or otherwise. Say hi, Merry Christmas at the holidays, stuff like that. But otherwise, adios. I'm on a mission. I'm hanging around the right people that are doing things.
Yeah. It's productive environment. That's why we started this group. I mean, that's really what
it's a
we're
big part
trying
of
to harness is being around like-minded people. People are trying to get shit done, essentially, like doers.
Doers, yeah.
And, even to add on to the lucky piece, it's like, it's not necessarily luck all the time. Like you may have gotten lucky, but like you said, it takes so much work to roll the dice that many times. Like it takes so much work to put yourself in the front of the right people, make real even connections and relationships take so much time to develop. People think that they can just talk to someone one time and build a really meaningful relationship, but it takes constant recognition, constant exposure, like being in front of that person over and over again, and also giving them value.
And it takes constant like listening to them and trying to figure out like what they need, and then being like, oh, I can do that. Like I can help them in that. And then you like hit that, and they're like, wow, you've really helped me a lot. Thank you so much. You're like waiting for that opportunity from people is probably a big thing.
Yeah,
too.
I mean, Jake, you look at our relationship. We didn't really know each other. We were friends or acquaintances, if you will, on Facebook. We messaged back and forth a couple of times. We met up at, a networking event for the Young Entrepreneurs Group, which is why I love groups like that. I love events like that because you can go there, and this is where I met you for the first time, Matt. You can go there, you can meet other people that are like-minded individuals, have the same goals, the same ambitions, might be in different industries, but they have the same goals and ambitions of being successful. And next thing you know, you've built a relationship with those people that they might not be the one for you to connect to on business, but they probably know somebody who is the right one.
100%. I always say that. That's the biggest thing. Like the whole don't sell thing. I'm not trying to sell you. I'm trying to sell you that you trust me enough to say when somebody says something, it's like, oh yeah, I know a guy, because you're going to use me whether or not. But if I'm selling you, you're never going to use me because you're like, dude, this guy's always talking about this crap, So being able to sell them on trusting you to be able to give a referral out in the long term.
Yeah, everybody's heard it a million times. To be successful at any, sale, you need somebody to like you and trust you before they're going to buy from you. And the only way that you can get someone to like you and trust you is for them to get to know you. And once they get to know you, hopefully they'll build trust with you. They'll get to like you on some level or another, and then they'll do business with you. Too many people come up and throw up their next idea or throw up all over them with their business plan or their products or their services, and all they are is another sales pitch. It's like, dude, beat it, nerd. Next, out the door. See you later. You know what I mean? It's just it's sad in some cases, if you will.
Not only that, people know. Like when you're selling to somebody, they put a wall up. Like, don't talk to me anymore. As soon as I feel like I'm being sold, it's like that's it.
People love to buy, but they hate to be sold. And that is one of the common, mistakes I think people make in any industry. You can imagine knocking on somebody's door, walking around, I'm the best realtor in Naperville. I'm going to sell your house today. Rah, 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 rah. No, they're going to call the cops for you for walking into their house.
Some weirdo in my front yard. He won't shut up about real estate.
Exactly.
He's putting a sign in my yard.
Yeah, exactly. But you could, cold call somebody by knocking on their door. Hey, how are you? I admire your home. Nice to know you. My name's Jake. I live in the neighborhood. Whatever the case is. In the future, if you're ever looking for an opportunity to sell your home or looking for somebody to represent you selling your house, I'd love to do business with you. Boom. Who knows? In a week, 2 weeks, a month, 5 years.
5 years, yeah.
But they might come back just because they remembered you showing up or you built rapport with them and they got to know you. And now, boom, they're your client.
Or you put on awesome events like you do and they see your face everywhere and they value that you're contributing towards their community and towards their kids' happiness and their wives' happiness, all that stuff.
Exactly.
And it all comes down to feeling like you're a part of their family. I mean, that's branding 101, I feel like. Like even these big brands, the reason why they're so successful because people make memories with like the bottle of Coke that they drank when they first met their wife. It's more about that experience, I feel like.
Yeah,
so.
That's what we were talking about in the last podcast. Like being able to have like a networking thing, like after your business is done, like her spin class that she was talking about, and everyone like networks and hangs out. If you meet a really good friend and you have a good feeling towards that friend, it's associated with that business as well. So you have this amazing, great feeling about the business too. So like having these events where you're connecting people together and they meet their best friend or their wife or something. And they're like, yeah, I met him at that event, you know?
Well, yeah,
So-
and it all comes back down to, networking and building relationships. Like she was mentioning with the spin class, they're all there for a purpose. They have a purpose in mind, which is exercise, obviously getting your endurance up, getting healthy. But at the end of it, you still have a networking opportunity to get to know these people and network with them and see what businesses they're in, see what interests they have, and then move forward from there in some level of a relationship, whether it's a friendship, a working relationship, or otherwise. At least you've gotten to know somebody else and you can see what their ambitions are, what their goals are in life. And in most cases, you'd be shocked how many people, you can help reach the next level that you don't even know. And it could be something as minuscule as an introduction to somebody else that's
Yep.
in your network that they might not have yet.
Yep. Or just giving your perspective on something.
Exactly. Yeah. Giving your 2 cents on things.
And they're like, oh, wow, I never thought of it in that light. Like, yeah, oh, that makes sense. And then boom, off to the races.
Yeah,
You just don't
100%.
know. You just don't know.
Yeah. I mean, everybody's got different opinions and different, ideas and different perspectives of things that somebody else might not have heard of or might not have thought of until you came around. And that could be that clicking light bulb moment for them. So
Yeah, even this conversation now, like just having this conversation, people listening, their brains are stirring up, like all the different scenarios that they've probably gone through, the same stuff that you're going through, the same drive, the same, like-mindedness. So it's like a conversation like this in a networking environment where you're having a beer and you're just talking about like what you did last week.
life.
Yeah. And people are like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I didn't try that, or I should have tried this, or maybe you should do it differently. It's like, those are really where the connections are made.
100%.
It's like real, organic, genuine. I feel genuinity is like the number one thing.
If you
Like,
talk about that you hate your dog because you hate your dog and someone else is like, I hate my dog too.
Exactly.
And then you're
yeah.
like, oh, you're connected. Like all of a sudden you got something in common.
But in the entrepreneur network, it's more like, oh, that's like this client or this
Yeah.
vendor that I used, or just like stuff like that really fuels the fire, and you get it. People are like, wow, I can relate 100%. Like I've been through that. And maybe they did it differently. Maybe they, went about it differently or overcame that struggle. But at least you have like ideas.
Yeah,
to
and
bounce
that could
around.
be a turning point for them the next time that same struggle, if you will, comes up, that they could be like, oh, hey, I remember when Carrie told me that at this event and it worked for her, and then boom, they can try that and maybe they get a different result out of it. So
Absolutely. So I know you're talking a lot about like drive and just getting out there hustling. Like that's how you succeed. But obviously we all go through struggles at times. Like we all have our moments
course.
where it gets hard. Like no matter what, how hard you feel you're hustling, you have times where you're just like, I just want to sit and not think, So like just for the viewers listening, because I'm sure a lot of people go through that kind of stuff every day, especially entrepreneurs, because it's kind of a lonely place to be. There's not a lot of people, I think, that think like us and have people to
well, there
like.
should be more.
There should be more. And that's why we
We're going to
created
get
the
them all
group.
together.
Exactly.
They're all coming here.
But,
At the
as
next Young Entrepreneurs Network, be there.
Exactly. But, like obviously when we first met for the first meeting ever, we all sat around the table and we were all like-minded, but we talked about our struggles. We talked about like what we went through on a daily basis as entrepreneurs. Doubt. People telling us don't do that, it's stupid, or
Leave
go get
them.
it. Yeah,
Run.
exactly.
Run as fast as you can.
Absolutely. So is that how you overcame those struggles then?
So, I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. I used to tell people all the time, I'm not Willy Wonka, so I'm not going to sugarcoat shit for you. We all have struggles in life. I was on my third failed business before I got into the restoration industry. And even when I got into the restoration industry, I thought that I knew what I was doing. So I would just go out there and do what I thought was right versus taking the time to actually learn from, who used to be my boss. Now we ended up buying him out, but from used to be my boss who has 30 plus years of experience in that industry. I stopped, I paused, I started listening to him, working with him, accepted him as my mentor. I started doing a lot more personal development stuff and it just changed. I mean, people knock fun at personal development and things like that all the time. For me, it was a game changer. And I can tell you right now, for a lot of people that I know that have become very successful, that's a game changer. But more importantly, if you want to be successful in something, stop listening to your deadbeat broke family members and neighbors because they don't know what they're talking about. And unless somebody doesn't have what you want in life and hasn't accomplished what you want in life, whether it's success, money, family, relationships, whatever it is, their opinion means nothing. Run away. Don't listen to them. But on the flip note, you need mentorship. Like you need somebody who's been there, done it, has succeeded in what you want to do. You want to be the number one real estate agent in the DuPage area. You need to go find the number one real estate agent in DuPage area and say, hey, Mr. or Mrs. Agent, coach me, help me, will you mentor me?
What are you doing?
What do you do and how do you do it? And again, most people I think are scared to do it. I was scared to do it. Coming into the energy industry, I was the exact same way. I was like, well, I'm already successful. I've already made, lots of money in my other businesses.
I'm going to do it differently and change the game. And,
I'm going to make a square wheel and it's going to work.
Yeah.
It wouldn't work 2,000 years ago. What makes you think it's going to work now?
Right.
But I switched my mindset. I changed it and said, look, I'm going after number one. I want to be number one. So I'm going to find the top income earners in this company and I want you to teach me and show me. And people will be shocked how willing other people that are already successful are willing to teach you and show you on what they did for you to follow suit with them. That's what most successful people that I've been around and I've had the opportunity to meet, all they want to do is help other people reach their level.
It's because they're excited about it.
Exactly.
They're like passionate and they're
and
like,
if they're
they
not
can't
run because they're losers.
Yeah. But most people like successful people, like they're so passionate about what they're doing. And most people don't want to hear what you're talking about. When we're talking about business here, you go to like any dinner and you like start talking about leads and, all this stuff. And they're like, oh gosh, here we go. Yeah. But like when you get somebody that's like-minded or wants to be like you, you're like, dude, I'll tell you anything you want to know. Like, what do you want to hear?
Exactly. People love to talk.
Yeah,
like
people
us here,
love to talk.
I'm going to do this. I love it. I love to talk. I love sharing my story. I love sharing little nuggets that I've learned about things.
Yeah.
Same for you guys. People love to talk. And, but it comes down to most people, I think they're too scared to ask for it. And you got to just wipe that out. You got to, be willing to humble yourself and say, hey, look, I want to be there. How do I get there? Can you show me how to get there? Show me exactly what to do. What did you do? How do I do it? How can I follow suit? And you'll be surprised by the answers that they give you. So.
Yeah, that's good. Danny, this is freaking awesome.
Love it.
You're a really good guy. You are seriously like, I'm really impressed by the way that, you're going about social media and the way that you're not selling, but you're just giving so much value to a lot of people, and you're inspiring too. I mean, you're giving away.
I try to be.
Good stuff. You really are. I mean, I really appreciate you a lot. So,
well, this is a great podcast. This is a great group of people. I want to share the love and I want to learn from everybody else just as much. There's a lot out there that I don't know. There's a lot out there that I would love to share and give to others. So I think that's a great, great relationship. This is a great event, great group of people. So
give us your last just advice to specifically young entrepreneurs that are just starting out businesses, or that don't quite know what they're doing yet and they're just trying to get their foot in the door. Give us some, context just in your life. You don't have to be like this wisdom guy, but give us some context of what you think.
Yeah, I think a lot of it comes back to, for some clothing thoughts on my end, I guess, if you will, comes back to a lot of the stuff we already talked about. One is opportunity. Like I said, if you're looking for an opportunity to make money, they're out there. You got to take advantage of it. But at the same time, if you're stuck in a job that's only going to go to a certain level, you need to come to the realization that you're not going to get any higher than that at that position or with that company or in that industry. So change. Don't be afraid to change. Go out there, change what you're doing, start something new. You know what I mean? But most importantly, just do it. People are too scared to take action and do anything. Get your ass off the couch. Turn off that income reducing box that makes all that noise called a television and get out, meet some people, shake some hands, and do it. That's all it comes down to, is just go out there and do the work, and you'll be surprised at the results that you'll get.
Awesome. That was great. Nike got a nice shot out there for sure. Just do it.
Yeah, just do it. Just do it.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the show and everything.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
Being out here and taking the time out of your day to speak with us a little bit and converse, and it was really nice having you. So we're signing out, guys. Thank you so much for listening. If you guys have any questions for Danny, he's a Facebook social media butterfly. So get out there and talk to him. Meet him.
Boom. All right. Thanks, guys. Take care. Boom. I like the boom. You should do the boom every time.
It gets hot
in here.